Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Shano over here, and what we're talking about is a new Fox Body style Vanilla Ice Baby Mustang. There's a couple renderings out there. This is just one of them. What something, if they made it up to date, what it might look like. And besides the front end and the back end, I think the sides and everything look pretty damn good. I think not a bad rendering. Which gets me to the next part. I'm going to say the next part of this is that, and I got a few renderings of this car, is the new interior in the Mustang, the S650, is supposed to resemble, like, that's kind of where they went with the screens, but they kind of wanted to go back to the Fox body. And that kind of makes me think, like, why couldn't Ford make two styles of Mustangs? They could bring back the Fox body, something like this, and have two different styles, two different, bring and have more of a lineup for the Mustang. Now, when we go to the interior, you can see what I'm talking about. Is the interior? This is kind of where they got the influence, the idea of throwing this, the way they styled this interior, and even the gauges. You can choose a Fox body Mustang, so that's why I'm thinking, why didn't Ford, like, this interior? That's kind of where I would want to see it. I would not in the, I wouldn't say in the new S650 Mustang. We're gonna get to the S650 Mustang and some of the things that Ford should have done or choose. And I'm gonna say this: if I was working at Ford, this is what I would have done if I was in charge. I would have chose to say, okay, this interior is nice, but it belongs. I think it belongs in a new. The Fox body was like it was like famous almost. And there's another rendering somebody did. Of course, to me, like, I like the lines of the car. It's just, I would definitely do, like, the taillights different, probably the front end a little bit different on the front end. But that's where I would put it at, like a new Fox, a new 50 Fox. So we'll just call it the 50 Fox. You want to call it whatever you want to call it, but and it kind of does look a little like something that Europe, like something Ford in Europe would do. But I think that having the new Mustang, but then they have a new style 50 Fox would be pretty badass. I think a lot of people would choose that car, especially if they had that S650 S650 in there. Now, I have some pictures of the Shelby GT350 in 2011, 2012. That nose, and the reason why I put that in there is that that's where I kind of see the Fox body. Was something with that type of look, that would be perfect. Not the exact same, but just the idea of seeing that front end that Shelby did on that year Mustang, which hands down, in my opinion, is one of the best looking front ends for a Mustang I've ever seen. It looks sharp, looks good, looks muscular, it's clean, there's nothing too funky going on, and it matches the hood and everything. I just think they did an incredible job on the nose, and it's, to be honest, they just changed the bumper, and I think the hood. The bumper and the hood are like one piece, or the grill, whatever, is all one piece, I believe. I think, I'm not sure. But that's what they changed on there. But it looks great, and I think they can adapt that style on the renderings that people are doing. Something in that order. Now I'm going to get to the S650. Obviously, the two things I want to point out, the one thing, maybe if I was one thing, is that the front ends on both cars, and I think the dark horse should have been the GT. I think that the standard Mustang has too much like BMW, like slash something else, like trying to combine that look, and the noses drop too much on it. As we pull down, we see the nose, and it's not terrible. It's just, I don't like how low it looks. Maybe it's because it's all blacked out right there. Maybe if it was one solid color, it would look more even, but it looks like it just doesn't match anything going on. It kind of just goes the way it wants to go. But on the Black Horse, everything flows a lot better. Everything is even, in my opinion, and it just looks better than this nose they stuck on the standard GT. So that's where I wanted to get to. I'm trying to get to everything. And then I get to the interiors, and this is what I'm talking about. As I go back to I found a picture of a 2013 interior compared to the new interior, and they put an overlay, some red on there, and I'm like, this interior looks amazing, just with a little bit of bling. So that's what I would have rather seen on this gen Mustang, would be this interior updated, and not the interior that it has. I think the interior it has is just, I mean, I'm looking at both of them just right from here, and I look at this, I'm like, man, that interior is great if it was in a Fox body. If it was in a Fox body. But the 2013 Mustang, hands down, I think it wins as far as the interior styling. May not have the screens, because it's like you take the huge screen out of this car and you put some analog gauges in there, it's gonna be like, okay, whatever, but oh my god, it's got a screen, So I understand people love screens nowadays, but I'm talking about just the overall design. And the overall design, I think 2013 is so far the best year for Mustang interior. Not the door panels might be hard and stuff, I understand that. But I'm talking about just styling, just the way it looks. Okay, now I'm talking about every single detail. The hands down 2013 wins. And this interior is not a bad interior as far as the S650, but it doesn't belong in the new Mustang. And again, the GT, the Dark Horse should have been the standard for the GT. The Dark Horse should have been above that. It should have been like 50 more horsepower, and some other extras, and some other, what they do with the seats and everything. Now back to the Fox body. I think they could do something like that. They got the Mach-E, they got an SUV Mustang. Why not bring back the Fox body? It's like too late though. Like I would have been like Ford. That interior in the S650, yeah, that belongs in a Fox body. Make a new one. People love that car. It's famous. I love every time I see one. I think it's just badass looking, and you can bring something like that back and have another choice, have that generation, but still have a new, the S650 Mustang. We can both share the same platforms. We're just talking about a body and interior, and that's pretty much it. But maybe the weight would be down. I mean, the old Fox bodies were like 3,000 pounds soaking wet. I got this. That's right. I had this video reloaded just to talk more about everything. So we're just gonna go over everything. So I think that if I was working at Ford, that's what I would do. So as far as this interior, it belongs where it belongs. And that's the way I look at it. It belongs in and it's not a bad interior. This one actually has a little color in it, which I haven't seen yet. A little. But that belongs in the Fox 5.0. We're going to say that, the Fox 5.0. And if they brought out a new one with this interior in it, it would be a match. It would be a perfect match for this newer Fox body, and have that sitting next to the S650, which is obviously, would be their new Mustang, but they would have, we have the Fox body now. We have the, which is not a Fox body, but, that's what everybody calls them. And, once someone says Fox body, it's always representing the old, I always say the Vanilla Ice 5.0. And I think that would be cool. I think that would really be cool, seeing something from the 80s and 90s come back, and that interior would be. In fact, I guarantee you, people will be swapping. You're going to see a swap in an older Fox body with the S650 Mustang. But I think it looks, from a lot of the other features, besides I think they can do better jobs for its headlights and taillights as far as the rendering. Again, that GT350 nose, get some of that styling in there. On the front end, and then mess with the taillights a little bit, bam, you got a perfect newer updated Fox body with that interior. Again, the video is just re-rolling so we can get over, just basically get over. So that leaves that, and then this interior 2013 with these, somebody did a carbon fiber red trim, and it just looks gorgeous. It just freaking looks gorgeous. Then I go down to this, and I'm like, it's nice, but that's it. It just, to me, it's, I don't know. I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled for that interior to be in that car. Just not. That I'm excited about. It's good, if I can see those gauges and the other side of the console, like having like all like jet black with screens like straight across, and then again just update the interior but keep the bezels or the dual humps or whatever you want to call them, and maybe put something else in there like a shift light or something, like, they could have done a lot with this interior to update it. And as far as some people are going to ask me, as far as the 2015 and up to 2023 interior, not a big fan. I don't think it has. I think the 2013 is still better. The 2015 to 2023's interior, even though it got the digital display put in, I think the interior was too squished. I didn't like the middle console. I thought it was out of place. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't fantastic for me. So I'm not a huge fan of that interior just because of the middle console, how it connects to the dash. It just looks awkward. It looks out of place. Wasn't really thrilled about it. 2013 had a nice flow to it. Everything was a little thick. I'm gonna say that it was a little thick in a 2013 Mustang, but it's they could have narrowed it down a little bit. But it still looks great. And when I get into one, it feels like a real true Mustang with those beautiful gauges, how it flows, everything just flows together. So that's where we're at, guys. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for stopping by. This is Shano, and I'm out.